Today we're gonna open the World Shaper Edge of Eternities Commander deck. My first Precon order ever. Absolutely hyped to check those out. Before we start with them, I wanted to introduce a special guest that I didn't pull on the connector box. But I wanted the card and I really enjoy the artwork, so this is this one. Where Renekton gets beat down by the Endstone. I think it's a pretty cool card. Didn't even bother for the Fracture Fall because this artwork enough. Am I the only one who thinks this is cool? Let me know. So let's actually start with the World Shaper deck, because you know I'm a green player myself. But I heard also only good things about the counter intelligence. So let's see what we got. This is the sample pack. Alright, cool. Some tokens. Thank God I don't need a knife for this. Got nothing around here. Alright, so we got our foil commander. That's awesome. But I think it would be better to start with the booster, right? What can we get? Rare, mythic, Galaxy foil Sharkland. There's more, okay. Famished World Sire and a Tanuk, a little bit pringly. Oh man, a little bit pringly. But this is a cool card, I like this guy. Landfall is always a plus for me. So let's take the half. I'm not sure how these sorted. So we got Herfall, the World Seed, 3 colors, 2+. Pay 1, sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards, you may play an additional land this turn. At 8+, flying, vigilant haste, whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. And 6/7. With the rule change, this is our commander now. It's possible, spacecraft, vehicles. This deck is a lot about sacrificing, playing lands. We have a lot of extra lands, landfalls, play from graveyard, sacrifice lands, or non-token permanent or whatever. We'll see a lot of these. I didn't go through the whole list, so let's go through them. We got Sorrel, Genesis Shepherd, also 3 colors, 5 mana, 2/5 flying. You may play lands from your graveyard, that's cool. After sacrificing, whenever you sacrifice another non-token permanent during your turn, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to his power up to one other target creature. So yeah, getting huge rewards for the sacrificing, and can move some counters or put them on other creatures. Right, so those two are crazy traditional foils. Got some tokens. That's actually cool that you got all the tokens that you need to play with. So how do we go through those? Creatures first. Are they sorted like this? Looks like it. Right, so let's go the creatures first. Got our Immediate Wastewalker, also Poultice guys, not too crazy, 4 mana for 4. Whenever this creature attacks you and defending player, each discard a card, sacrifice a permanent, you draw a card for each land card, put it to a graveyard discard. Alright, so you have a synergy discard. It's definitely way better, I think, if you're just going for this in a solo standard. Will not do a lot for you. This guy also pulled. Maybe I could have built this card for my pulls, I'm not sure. Got the Brush Razor for free. Whenever you sacrifice a non-token permanent, exile your top card of your library during your turn. As long as you've sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exile this card. And he gives us 2 red. It's good. Planetary Annihilation. Each player chooses 6 lands they control, then sacrifice the rest. Deal 6 damage to each creature. Okay, so we got board wipe, plus we have the possibility to sacrifice lands. This whole deck is all about it. Bell of Prime. For 4, 10/10, this creature enters tapped with 6 stun counters on it. If a permanent with a stun counter would become untapped, remove 1 from it instead. And he got 6 of those. Whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tap 4/4 green beast creature token and untap this creature. Okay, so we got sacrifice lands to make the process faster, and for 4, sacrifice a land, gain 2 life. That's not that sweet, and I think most of the time you're not gonna use this because you got way more efficient ways to sacrifice the lands and get the synergy going. Or maybe in a dire situation, but I'm not sure. Exploration Bridgeship, also pulled this guy for 1 green. Artifact Spacecraft Station. Tap another creature you control. Oh yeah, so station we got to tap all creatures, and the fun thing about this is you can play a creature and on this turn you can also crew it, or kinda yeah, tap it for this creature. At 3+ you may play an additional land on each of your turns. We got a lot of those. And at 8+ flying, once during each of your turns you may cast a permanent spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a land in addition to paying its other costs. And 4/4. Okay, cool. I'm really curious how this plays out to sacrifice all the lands and then get them out of the graveyard back on board. But we got some cool cards to make it happen. So we got Horizon Explorer for free. 2/4, lands you control, enter, untap. That's sweet. Whenever you attack a player, create a lander token. Okay, so this is helping us to ramp. Screwing Swarm for free, 1/1 flying. Whenever you sacrifice a land, create a tap token as a copy of this creature. If 7 or more land cards are in your graveyard, otherwise create a tap 1/1 black insect creature token flying. So this kind of reminds me of Skewed Swarm, except that it doesn't get that great. Oh, it is with the copies. So yeah, you get copies of the copies and so on. That's pretty wild. Sick card. A Median Hatchery, also pulled, land, tap it, pay 1 life, at black, put a hatchling counter on this land. And this land is put in the graveyard from the battlefield. For each hatchling counter, create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. So a lot of token generation as well. Festering Thicket, green or black. Okay, so we got a lot of lands. Fabled Passage is pretty cool, like the artwork. So we can search for basic breads. Artisan Nightmare, that's actually a sick card. I already checked this one out. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent of their choice that shares a card type of it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. So this works pretty good in this deck. Either we get some card draw or we can make the opponent's board weaker. And we most likely will synergize the sacrificing with something else. God Eternal Bond 2 for 5, 5/6, looks mad. Legendary creature Zombie God, Menace. When he enters, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. Alright, sick. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, put it into its owner's library, third from the top. Okay, cool. Blasphemous Act. Favorite card from all the token players. For 9, the spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield, deals 13 damage to each creature. Hammer of Perforus for free. Legendary enchantment artifact, creatures you control have haste. Alright, that's sweet. Pay 3 and tap, sacrifice a land, create a 3/3 colorless golem enchantment artifact creature token. Okay, so another thing that lets us sacrifice a land, plus we can give our creatures haste. This card looks like a banger. Morog, Fury of Akum for 6, 6/6. Each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time it has attacked this turn. Okay, so maybe there's ways to attack more often. Landfall, whenever land you control enters, if it's your main phase, there is an additional combat phase after this phase at the beginning of that combat. Untap all creatures you control. Alright, that's absolutely crazy. I'm not sure if you can repeat it more than once, like do it. But I think there would be a condition that you can do it only once per turn. And it says, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. Not sure. So I would suggest that you can have more combat phases than 2. So this could absolutely just be your win condition there. Augur of Autumn for free. Got 2/3, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. Kind of like Oracle of Muldiah. You may play lands from the top of your library. Okay, it's kind of the same. Coben, as long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. Alright, so that's sweet. Cool card. Centaur Vinecrasher for 4. Got 1/1 trample. This creature enters with a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the number of land cards in all graveyards. Alright, that's crazy. And it's not ETB, so pretty safe. Whenever a land card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, you may pay 2 green. If you do, return this card from the graveyard to your hand. Okay, so this is definitely helping us with the land cycle. Got Formless Genesis for free, cool artwork kinda. Kindred Sorcery Shapeshifter. Jangling. Create an XX colorless shapeshifter creature token with Jangling and Death Touch or access the number of land cards in your graveyard. And also has Retrace. You may cast this card from a graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying its other cost. Okay, pretty cool card. Got Loamcrafter Fawn for free. Got free. When this creature enters, you may discard 1 or more land cards. When you do, return up to that many target non-land permanent cards from a graveyard to your hand. Yeah, why not? But discarding would... It depends on your discarding if you can use it for any effect. Got Multani Yavimaya's Avatar for 6, what the fuck. Reach Trample gets +1/+1 for each land you control and each land in your graveyard. Pay 2, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, pretty sick, but kinda expensive for 6. There is the Miracle, the Oracle of Moldiah for 4. Got 2/2, you may play an additional land on each of your turns. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play lands from the top of your library. Pretty cool card. Playing it also in another deck. Pest Infestation, 2x and 1 green. Sorcery, destroy up to X target artifacts and or enchantments. Cool, I like this one. Create twice X 1/1 black and green pest creature tokens. So when this token dies, you gain 1 life. That's sweet. I like this card. Rampaging Bellows, banger card, I love it. 6/6/6, trample landfall. Whenever land you control enters, create a 4/4 green beast creature token. That's a card for me, I love it. Splendid Reclamation, also banger card. Return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Absolutely sick. After we sacrificed a lot of them. Tireless Tracker, also known famous. 3 mana, 3/2 landfall. Whenever land you control enters, investigate, create a clue token. It's an artifact with sacrifice. This token, draw a card. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Titania, Protector of Argoth for 5. When she enters, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's nice. Whenever land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a... Alright, so another reward. So we get a 5/3 green elemental creature token. Too lazy to read that out. Another reward for removing lands from our field. Yeah, from the battlefield. So I'm not sure which cards are working with the discarding. We got an Eldrazi card, Worldbreaker for 7. Devoid, has no color. When you cast this spell, exile target artifact, enchantment or land. Got Reach, and for free, sacrifice the land, return this card from the graveyard to the hand. Alright, Eldrazi card, strong as always. Escape to the Wilds for 5. Exile the top 5 cards of your library. You may play cards exiled this way until end of turn, until end of your next turn. You may play an additional land this turn. Okay, some extra ramp and exiling stuff to let us play. Maybe some combos. Got Gaze of Granite for X, 2 black and green. Destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X or less. Holy smokes, this card is serious. Non-lands are just complete board wipe. Got the Gitrog monster for 5, 6/6. Death Touch, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog monster unless you sacrifice a land. Okay, so we got a subscription model on sacrificing lands, and we can play an additional land on each of our turns. Whenever 1 or more land cards are put into the graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. Plus we get a draw engine. So this card is like this guy, very good. Good stats, good effect. Got Kobold, Faker's King for 5. Legendary creature, Dragon Noble, flying. Oh my bad. When he enters or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. 2 lands or what? At least 1 on ETB. Whenever I sacrifice a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on him and draw a card. Okay, so that's us draw, plus he gets bigger and bigger. Got Mazirek, Crawl, Death Priest. This card looks really cool. 4/5. Is it better than the Toad? Gitrock, flying 2/2. Whenever player sacrifices another permanent, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So yeah, this is kind of sick. Helps you to Insect Shaman. Nasty Death Priest. Omnath, Locus of Rage, awesome card for 7. Got Landfall, whenever land you control enters, create a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token. Whenever Omnath or another elemental you control dies, he deals 3 damage to any target. That's pretty sweet. And we got Soul of Windgrace for 5. No, sorry, for 4. 5/4. Whenever Soul of Windgrace enters or attacks. Whenever Soul of Windgrace enters or attacks, you may put a land card from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. Green, discard a land card. You gain 3 life, discard a land card, draw a card. Okay. Meh, not too sure. I have seen cooler cards in this deck. When he enters or attacks, you can put a land card from your graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. That's sick. And discard. Okay. Plus we can use the third effect to make it indestructible. And we have to tap it. So this is a pretty cool card, I like it. Soul of Windgrace. After rereading, sick card. Let's see what else we got. So I think we don't have to go through the lands, there's nothing crazy on there. Going on there, my god. Command Tower. Thermorphic Expanse. Ah, there's still some creatures, alright, let's see. A lot of familiar cards. Let me sort a bit. I don't think we need to talk about the lands, right? What is this? Feeder. When this land enters, sacrifice it when you do such a library. Okay. Okay, so we have a lot of lands to sacrifice. We gotta waste. Okay, boys. You know lands, I assume. Let's see if something else. The one card that helps you us with cards. That one card. Jesus. That one card helps us with lands that enter tapped. This Thermorphic Expanse looks pretty fun. There was a Furnace, was it in this deck or in the other one? Not entirely sure. That was a cool land. Okay, let's see. Got Infernal Grasp, destroy target creature, you lose 2 life. I think this is also nothing new. Night's Whisper, you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life for 2 mana. Okay. Sprouting Goblin, got a kicker. With green, when this creature enters, if it was kicked, search a library for a land card with basic land type, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Pay red, tap, sacrifice the land, draw a card. Okay, not crazy. I think those are the cards that could be upgraded to something way better, but it's okay. For 2 mana, it's not too bad. Got Aftermath, Analyst, 2 mana, 1/3. When this creature enters, mill 3 cards. And for 4 we get sacrifice this creature, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so this is also a pretty strong effect on this card. Got Beast Within for 3 instant, destroy target permanent, its controller creates a 3/3 green based creature token. Okay, so this is also very well known. Cultivate, search your library for up to basic land cards, reveal those cards, put 1 on board tapped and 1 in hand. Got the Groundskeeper for 1 green with 1/1, return target basic land card from your graveyard to your hand for 2. And Harrow, as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a land, search your library for up 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield. Also known, pretty cool. I like this card a lot. Nature's Law helps us to play an extra forest, very cool. For 2 green, for 2 mana, 1 green. Roiling Regrowth. Instant. Sacrifice a land, search your library for up 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield. So I think this is kind of the same as Harrow. Yup, pretty much. So we got a lot of ramp here with our instants. Got our Satyr Wayfinder. When this creature enters, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them into your hand, put the rest into the graveyard. Sky Shroud Claim for 4. Search your library for up 2 forest cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Alright, that's getting crazy and crazier. Tears are pretty helpful. Got a kicker for 2 extra. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If the spell was kicked, exile target non-land permanent instead. I like this card. You got Yuri, Master of the Review for 2 red and black. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on him. When he dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. That's sick. Got Mayhem Devil for 3. Got 3/3. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, this creature deals damage to any target. Alright. I like these synergies. Putrefy, also famous for 3. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. Rakdos Charm for 2. Choose 1. Exile target player's graveyard. Destroy target artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Uruk's Barn of Turk for 3. Legendary creature with star 5. His power is equal to the number of land cards in your graveyard. Okay, big. At the beginning of your upkeep, so whale 1. So we can basically throw it in the graveyard or keep it on top. Pay 2, sacrifice a land, you gain 2 life. Okay, nice. Farseek is also another ramp. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp or mountain card. Put it on the battlefield. Keep in mind to read the text through so you don't mess up your basic searching in your deck and you don't end up having nothing anymore. Springbloom Droid, also ramping. When this creature enters, you may sacrifice a land. If you do, search your library for up 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Binding the Old Gods for 4. Saga, destroy target non-permanent and opponent controls. Sweet, search your library for a force card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Okay, nasty. Also pretty helping us. Arcane Signet, any mana, you command a color identity. Soul Ring, always good. Windgrace's Judgment for 5. For any number of opponents, destroy target non-permanent that player controls. Okay. So most of the time free, right? Destroy target non-permanent that player controls. Free non-lands, okay. World Souls Rage for X, red and green. Deals X damage to any target, put up to X land cards from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield tab. Ooh, that's big. She lets us a lot of... That's a crazy card. I thought this is just a basic ass sorcery, but put up to X land cards from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield. Imagine you have the red guy on board and you're putting a lot of lands, but he will give us always 1 extra, right? So if you play like 5 lands, he will give us still only 1 additional combat phase. I really have to reread this guy. Whenever land you control enters, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat phase. So, if I'm understanding it right, you can just repeat it, right? I think that's why this would work. Okay, is there anything else? I think the lands are not needed. Got some bees, pretty cool for the rampaging Baloffs and stuff, the insects. So yeah, the last thing is I have to decide which sleeves to take. Oops, I just crashed it. Black or one of the grayish types. I think I might go for black because there's black in it and the grayish would fit to Eldrazi or Atraxa, Phyrexian stuff I was dreaming about, but maybe they're just too broken and stupid to play. Not sure. Now having these two, I will enjoy those for a while for sure, and we will check out the counterintelligence next time, and maybe I can force my girlfriend to play those with me. But thanks for watching. Let me know if this was helpful, interesting or not, and what I could do for the next time. Thanks if you are still here. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.